8 technology stories, each hiding its real impact in one small detail.
From tiny code injections to strange design choices, the mechanism is where the story lives. A major airline breach was traced to just 22 lines of code,
not a huge system crash, just a tiny script sitting on a payment page. Customers entered payment details in the browser.
That page became the meeting point between a person, a card form, and a hidden script.
The code was injected onto the payment pages.
Because JavaScript runs inside the browser, it could intercept information as the form was used. So the weakness was inside the checkout flow, not a giant server explosion.
One small injection point could reach many customers at the exact moment they typed.
That leaves a simple image: one page, one script, many transactions.
A checkout form and a browser window can carry far more weight than they look like. A LastPass breach touched an engineer's Plex account.
Not a customer login, a streaming account outside the core product.
LastPass had a 2022 data breach.
The strange part is where the attacker found a useful opening: an account outside the main system.
The account belonged to an engineer, not a customer.
That matters because attackers often use one compromised account as a bridge to another system.
So a personal Plex login became part of the attack surface. One unrelated account can sit close enough to work tools to matter. The practical lesson is simple: personal and work accounts can overlap in real life.
A streaming login, an engineer, and a breach can meet at the same keyboard. The US tried to hide satellites in space.
Not planes, satellites meant to watch from orbit. Zirconic was a US government effort tied to reconnaissance satellites. Reconnaissance means collecting images or signals from far away.
The odd part was adding stealth technology to space hardware. The goal was to make the observer harder to notice or track. That shifts the problem from seeing the ground to hiding the platform itself. In orbit, even a bright silhouette against black space can matter.
So the effort blended surveillance and concealment into one machine.
A quiet satellite, a dark sky, and a long look at the same orbit. On the Harvard-Dudley line, a streetcar could look doubled, as if two smaller cars were joined together.
This was part of regular transit service, not a parade piece.
The line needed cars that could carry people through a busy city route. The trick was simple: use two smaller streetcars as one longer setup. That gave the line more space or let operators use available equipment. The result was an unusual vehicle that could keep service moving without waiting for a perfect car.
Transit crews worked with what was on hand. So the strange doubled look was really a practical answer to a transit problem.
Two streetcars, one line, and a longer car rolling past the platform. Two roll cakes sat on a wife's head to help design a game character.
It sounds absurd, but the shape was the point. The game was Drill Dozer, and the problem was the main character's hair shape. A designer needed a clear silhouette before tiny details mattered. So the designer used a real-life modeling trick. Two roll cakes became a stand-in for the hair volume, like a quick 3D guide. That home setup gave the artist a readable outline fast. The character could be judged by shape alone, even before the final art was finished. A pair of roll cakes helped lock in a memorable main character shape. In the end, the simplest prop on a kitchen table became the clearest design clue. These game titles are so long they feel like the joke itself. One name alone can fill the screen. Xalavier Nelson Jr. works in indie game development, where a title has to work fast. Players see it before they know the rules. Titles like Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator and An Airport for Aliens currently run by dogs do the signaling first.
They tell you tone, absurdity, and scale in one glance. That means the title card becomes the first design decision players read.
Before any menu, the name already sets expectations. So the name is not decoration here. It is the opening hit, landing like a sign over the airport entrance.
Undertale was given to Pope Francis.
A video game ended up in a place built for formal gifts. Undertale is an indie game by Toby Fox.
It began as software on a screen, made for players at home.
The odd part is the setting.
A game can move from a bedroom screen into symbolic gift-giving, where the object matters as much as the code. That shift gives software a new role. It is no longer only entertainment, it becomes a cultural object chosen for meaning. So the story ends with a game box near a formal desk. Undertale sits there as a gift, not just a title on a screen.
A violinist stepped on stage wearing flashing goggles.
The electric violin was only half the story.
In the 1970s, Walter Stedding became known for this look. He paired an electric violin with goggles that flashed beside the music. The goggles were described as synced to brainwaves. That made the performance read like a visible electronics experiment. So the audience saw more than a song. They saw light, movement, and a machine-like signal tied to the body. That mix made the violin act feel half concert, half lab bench. The glowing goggles became the image people remembered. If you enjoyed the hidden engineering behind these moments, subscribe for more stories that explain how systems really work. And tell us which detail surprised you most.